For today's video, I'm here to talk about something that I have been really into recently, a visual novel of all things, popular online, featuring an unseen protagonist interacting with a club full of cute girls, and with a story that gets darker the more intimate with the members he gets. I'm of course talking about what? Ew, gross. I've never seen that before in my life. I don't even know what that is. No. What I really want to talk about today is a little game called Doki Doki Literature Club. For those that don't know, or maybe have seen stuff about the game posted around but never really looked into it, Doki Doki Literature Club is a visual novel developed by Team Salvato, released on September 22nd on their website, and later on October 6th for Steam. On the surface, the game looks like your typical visual novel, and for a while it plays as such. When it comes to story, you play the role of an unseen high school student who, after some insistence from his childhood friend Sayori, checks out the school's titular literature club. While at first hesitant to join the literature club, or any club for that matter, as your protagonist prefers to slack off and stay home watching anime and playing video games and whatever, he eventually agrees after seeing that the club is full of pretty cute girls. In true anime trope style, you have Sayori, your clumsy childhood best friend and neighbor, Yuri, the well-developed but shy bookworm, Natsuki, the petite tsundere, and Monika, the beautiful, multi-talented club president. At this point, it is time to pick the waifu of your choice, with the exception of Monika, and do your best to impress them. With poetry. Don't worry though, as you don't have to actually write anything, but instead pick 20 words out of a predetermined list, Mad Lib style I guess, which then becomes a poem. As for what words to pick, well, depending on what girl you want to impress, you pick different words that revolve around their interests, with the goal being to write a poem that will impress your waifu the most. After writing your poem, you will then share it with each of the other members and receive critique from them. Read through their poems, and of course, have a romantic moment with whatever girl you are currently trying to romance. This continues for a bit, and for a while the game really does look like a normal dating sim or something. However, if you've been paying attention to keywords throughout my review, or know even a tiny bit about this game, then it is around the time of your school's culture festival that things take a very dark turn. Now, I believe that playing through the game blind makes it more impactful, and therefore from this point forward, will do my best to be vague in order to not spoil anything. With that being said, let's just say that something really bad happens to one of the members of the club, and with that, the game enters a world of psychological horror it never comes back from. What began as a cheery game full of colorful characters soon becomes something quite unsettling. Glitches start to appear throughout the game, music cuts in and out at weird times, characters begin to act more erratically, strange images will flash on screen momentarily out of the corner of your eye, and the subject matter of the girl's poems becomes much more violent and depressing. Not only that, but if you look through the folder where you have the game, you'll even notice files with creepy messages add themselves as the game progresses. Trust me, it becomes a truly unnerving experience to watch all of the characters' downward spirals and how the game begins to break the fourth wall to mess with you. Like I said, I don't want to spoil what happens or why though, so moving away from describing what happens in the game, I'd like to discuss some of the pros and cons for you guys. Beginning with the pros, First is the fact that this game is quite unique. It is the kind of game that manages to really freak you out with a variety of subtle touches that you don't even see coming. From the way music and visuals are used, to the fourth wall breaking, to the dark themes presented in the game, and even how anime tropes are twisted around. The people behind this game clearly want to do something that would stick with players long after they were done with the game. Moving on, not only is the game great, but I love that it's also free and can be played on practically any computer. My computer is not at all a high-end unit, so the fact that I'm able to play this game and it is being given out for free 99 is like a godsend. However, I do want to add that Team Salvato is instead asking for donations if you enjoyed their game, so if you end up playing it, try to send a little something their way. Finally, something that I absolutely loved about the game is that it is not very long at all. It takes about 4 hours for a normal playthrough and maybe about 2 hours more on top of that if you wish to be a completionist and see all the alternate stuff. That means that this is the kind of game that you can download and finish in an afternoon without it overstaying its welcome, which is pretty cool. On the other hand, when it comes to cons, I honestly can't really think of any except for the fact that I guess the game kind of has a slow start. I mean, if you're eager to get to the crazy things that are to come, and/or don't really like the cutesy anime waifu dating sim that I described, then the first part of the game might be a slog. However, I still think that it shouldn't be too difficult to push through, especially with how short the game is, but that's just me though. In conclusion, Doki Doki Literature Club is definitely a game that I recommend. Short in length, free in price, and full of all sorts of crazy stuff that'll stick with you for a while, I think that the game is absolutely something that you should all try for yourselves. But hey, that's just my opinion. And remember, don't take anything I say too seriously. After all, I'm just the Wannabe Reviewer. Thanks for watching.